Welcome to this IT Babble video. I will be documenting some interesting things I found in Finalsite. Let me explain very clearly that Finalsite has not done anything wrong. This isn't a bug. This isn't some kind of vulnerability that they've left open. This is a choice customers make when they set up their Finalsite, specifically with their staff directory. All right, so the last few weeks, we've had a few spam and phishing incidents. And initially, when those things happen, the reaction is, let's just stop it, shut it down, move on, teach people better habits, etc. But I started wondering, specifically, like, for these phishing attacks and these spam attacks, where are people getting the mailing list from? It's an assumption that, oh, you can figure out the school email pretty easily, but the way that this normally works is I want to launch an attack, so I'm going to write a program to do it for me. And I'm going to go after the lowest hanging fruit. I'm going to go after the weakest target. I'm going to go after the target with the biggest bullseye. So I'm going to write a program that goes out and it finds email addresses that are connected to names, so I know that they're real. And then I'm going to save all that into some kind of database so I can use it later. So when I run my program's going to go around the internet and it's going to look for these easier targets, because this is all about time and numbers. I need to get as many emails as I can in the shortest amount of time, verified at least against a name, and I'm not going to waste a lot of time going any further than that, because I know there's so many unsecure emails out there that there's no reason for me to spend even more than a few seconds trying to go deeper on a given website. Finalsite, because it's really popular with schools, has a staff directory, and that staff directory can be set up a lot of different ways, and it has a lot of different features. So I was thinking that possibly the staff directory could be where my school's email list is being harvested. Before I got all paranoid, I read through quite a few reports, and this particular company, Proofpoint, does a decent job annually of preparing information about how people are attacked. And so when you really get into this report, what you realize, if you didn't already know, is that even in 2019 going into 2020, email is still a problem. It's still used as a threat vector. It's still very common for employees to get spam or for their emails to be used through some type of SMTP relay. So I started thinking, how can I make this harder for the bad guys? What can I do? And the simple answer is I just need to make it harder. So remember, thinking like somebody creating a bot or a program, I'm going to look for the weakest targets because there's so much email, I don't want to waste a lot of time. So then I started thinking, okay, can I make the emails that are online safer? Are they unsafe? And if I wanted to replicate this myself, could I do it? And could I do it at a scale that would make sense? For this video, just to preface it, I'm going to review how it works, and I'm going to review how to stop it, how to prevent it, how to make your Finalsite staff directory and email safer. I am not going to demonstrate in real time how this works because I would have to do it on a school's live Finalsite, and it would then expose the information directly. So I'm going to walk through all the steps and show pieces. If you want to know the particulars on how this works and you want me to show you, you will need to reach out to me individually. We can connect online and I will walk you through it. All right, so there's going to be a lot of cropping and kind of shielding in this video, and I hope everyone's okay with that. I have gone in and manually overridden this information on this active Finalsite so that I can explain what I found and how this works. The first thing that I discovered is that if your Finalsite is set for all departments view, meaning this is an option, you are definitely more at risk than if it's not. So if this is not all departments and you have to go department by department or actually query somebody to find them, then it's much more difficult to do this. If it has all departments, that means every staff member is listed on this page, and as you scroll down, more staff members will appear. On the right side, there are two things that you need to look at. First, FS email here, and FS style SR only. If your Finalsite, when you pull it up, includes these two classes, it is very easy to extract information. Other people have this set up completely differently, where there's not a direct email link at all. It's a referral. So when you click it, it takes you to another service or another script that processes the email. Some schools, when you hit this, you get a form. You complete the form processes the message. Those are very secure because obviously there's no email at all within the HTML page and there's nothing to harvest. When I looked at this initially, I thought maybe the Finalsite at my school was set up like this and it wasn't very common. And maybe it was just us. And so what I did is I took some common code from this page and I used some tools to search thousands and thousands of pages to see how many Finalsites have this setup where it's FS email and FS style SR only. All right, so kind of thinking about all the pieces that my program would need to have to do this, I realized the first thing it would have to be able to do is identify schools that A, have Finalsite, and B, have a directory. So I went through 5 or 6 different schools, and I found that all of them had this in common. So they basically have the same class on the search directory button. So I searched this and started to generate a list of websites that are running Finalsite with a staff directory. Now, these are hit or miss. They could or could not be active. That doesn't really matter. All that matters is I start generating a list. As you can see, in this case, it goes to a CSV file. You could script this so that it goes right into a database. So this would go out and it would search this and put all this into a database. If you wanted to do it in 2 steps, which is what I did. So I would put all the data in here first and get all the URLs in. Then I searched for this, FS style SR only, because I found that this was common on all the sites where you could really harvest emails quickly. It's actually more effective to do this first and this, or to combine these two together, because you do need to make sure that they have a staff directory. So this means the class is being used. It does not necessarily mean there's a staff directory. All right, so after I've identified a list of targets, now what I need to do is basically extract the emails. And I'm doing it with very simple screen scraping. And again, this would be pretty easy to code, so it's automated. Once I have figured out how the emails are stored, I can call the class selectors and it will spool all the emails here, and I can hit this and download them into a CSV file or a JSON file. If you were coding this, you could generate a CSV or you could just plug these right into a database. So as you hit websites that are compliant, you run this, it will collect all the emails available, and it will save them into a database, and then you move on to the next website. So once I was ready, I decided to choose 3 schools, 2 in Texas and 1 in Minnesota, and I was able to easily get all of their Finalsite staff directories into a single HTML page, and then I ran the script on it to extract the emails. I obfuscated all this information so that you don't know what school it is or who it is. but it was pretty easy to get 190 emails that are verified against names. I've removed the names. All right, so just to recap, to avoid this being a liability, one easy thing to do is just remove the all departments option. This actually makes the whole process more tedious for the bot or the program. The second thing you could consider is creating forms that relay information. I've done this in the past where there's a central form. When parents or visitors click it, they can choose a staff member and it will forward the message to them, and it's very secure to do that. You can work on the email linking to use the middle process to redirect the actual email. I did encounter this on some Finalsite sites where when you hit the email icon, it does give you the email, but on another page. So it actually opens up a little profile view, and it's an individual person. So again, a bot would probably skip that and move on. And number 4, check with Finalsite and get some training on better practices for staff directory management. I'm going to be reviewing this with the team that works with Finalsite here, and I'm certain there are things we can do that we're not doing that will make all of our personally identifiable information a lot safer. Again, thank you for watching this on itbabble.com. Please post comments if you have any. Feel free to email me at tonydepreto@gmail.com if you have any direct or personal questions about this, or if you would like to see how this works in real time.